Hey guys, my name's James Massell. I'm for MovieDeathblows. I appreciate you taking the time to speak with me today.
Of
Likewise.
course. Nice to meet you.
So we've had, quite a long 4-year break since season one came out in 2019. Nothing important happened in the world back then, obviously, but you guys got a new showrunner for season two and Eric Olson. What were your thoughts going into it with a new person at the helm? Was there any animosity or indifference working together?
No, I think we were excited to see a fresh take on the world. See what he would bring. It's always fun to try new things. And he was very good at collaborating with everyone, so he made us all feel very comfortable straight away, which I think was important, because we did love the team before as well, but we actually ended up having two great teams.
Arty, what about you?
I'd say he sort of conducted himself like a good stepfather, someone who doesn't is not too obtrusive. They understand, of course he had to be obtrusive to run the whole thing, but he dealt with it in a delicate way and and as Caroline says, in a collaborative way, because he understood that actually the actors had all this prehistory and understanding of the show that he was just coming into fresh. So there was a good meeting of minds, and yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Arty, what was it like in season one, knowing you were going to get to work with, Jared Harris and Indira Varma, who played your parents? Were you nervous at that point? Because they're kind of very good at what they do.
Yeah, they're quite good at acting, aren't they? I mean, I that was Carnival Row was basically my almost my first ever job. Technically my second job that I'd ever done, and Jared Harris has been one of my acting idols for about 8 years or something, and so it was just too much for me to deal with. I mean, I just had a sort of malfunction, and it took me a few meetings for me to start behaving in a vaguely normal way around them. Yeah, I was caught between trying to chill and be normal, and also absorb and observe as much as I could, and yeah, try and learn from the masters themselves. Yeah, it was cool.
I'd imagine it could be somewhat intimidating.
Yeah, I was cacking myself, as they say.
You know, Caroline, you've gotten to play some pretty shady characters in your time. I remember your turn on Once Upon a Time as Nimue. Do you enjoy playing the type of characters where you're not really sure if they're what their intentions are and if they're clear or not?
I do, luckily, considering that's what I get cast as. I'm not sure why that is my casting, but it seems to be that I always get cast as these people who appear one way but are actually another way. But I do love that, because I think what's fascinating about acting, and people in general are the layers. And with those kind of characters, you get to play so many layers, and it's all about the masks, what masks you put up, what masks you take down. I love playing them. Also, it's the best of both worlds, because you get to play a lot of different angles. You get to play the nice guy, and then you also get to play the dark one. And the dark characters are actually the most fun.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
I know you guys have done a lot of period pieces or stuff that's not sent in current day. Is that stuff you guys prefer? Do you like to see the sets and stuff go back, 100 years into old times, or do you like newer stuff?
I love the old stuff. I mean, I love history in general, and fantasy. Lord of the Rings is my favorite book, and I just love fantasy worlds. So if I could be in another world all the time, I would do it.
Arty, do you prefer Westeros or do you prefer the Row?
Don't make me choose. Like choosing between my children. I mean, no. I mean, the Row is. I mean, as amazing as Westeros is, my how big a part Carnival Row has played in my life and my career, and how unique it is, and how it's kind of a bit more of a secret thing. Like, everyone knows about Westeros, but actually, the Row and the Berg are, yeah, it has its own kind of unique magic that is there's just more dark kind of corners of it that people don't yet know and that they're going to experience in this season. So in terms of, yeah, but the Berg is closer to my heart for sure.
I was talking to Eric before this, and I was asking him about, the show really kind of pivoted to modern themes and themes from the 1940s with fascism and communism and Nazism and stuff like that. Were you surprised at Jonah and Sophie's decisions when you first read the script?
Not really. I think the signs were there in the first season that that's the direction they might be going in, and I think, yeah, it always seemed that they were going to go full villain. I mean, I think what's clever and what's beautiful about them going in that direction is that there are personal motivations that kind of make sense from their perspective. You know, it's not just evil or oppression for its own sake. Like, they think that they're doing the right thing because they're trying to achieve their own goals that mean a lot to them. So it's not just you know, black and white. It's there's shades of gray and of nuance, which is good. Yeah.
Caroline, what about you?
Yeah, I'd agree. I think nothing is surprising with Jonah and Sophie, really. They could have gone, there's no path that they probably wouldn't take, well, especially Sophie, that she wouldn't lead Jonah down. So was I surprised? I think I was surprised, actually, by the way that it turned out this season, but in a good way, because it was a genuine shock. And I think that hopefully viewers will find our decisions quite shocking too, and not know what's going to happen.
No spoilers, obviously. We would never give anything away here, but halfway through the season, it does take a turn at some point. Was that something you guys read in the script and were surprised by, or something you knew about going in?
They're quite good at preparing us for things like that happening. So they did. We were prepared for what happens.
The turn, that's what we call it.
It was a big turn. It was a big turn. Yeah.
You know, I know Eric said he's doing some more stuff with Amazon. Would you be willing to work with him in the future on other scripted shows or anything like that?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, he's he knows what he's doing, you know. He's and he's got a good, nice demeanor about him. He's a really affable guy and is clearly just, yeah, enthusiastic and smart. And yeah, I'd love to work with Eric again.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, he's great at creating these worlds. He came in, he did something cool and interesting and new with Carnival Row. So I'd be very intrigued to see what else he does. Yeah.
Arty, last question real quick before we wrap up. Are we going to see you pop up on House of the Dragon again, or that's still up in the air?
I don't know, you know. I don't know. I know it's, you know, Carl is alive. Carl and Laenor are alive, which is not something that can be said of a lot of Game of Thrones characters. It's possible, but I couldn't tell you.
Oh, I'll be looking for you. I appreciate you guys talking to me today. I can't wait to see what you guys do next. Thanks, guys.
Thanks so much.
You.